to the webinar. I'm super excited that everybody made the time to make it here today, so I'm just going to dive right into it. So let's get started. This is the webinar, the 5 weight loss myths that are keeping you overweight and what you can do today to fix it. So who is this for? This is for women entrepreneurs who are just struggling with their health and they don't know where to turn. If you'd like to lose 20 to 30 pounds, are feeling overwhelmed with all of the nutritional information out there, exercise routines, crash diets, then this is for you. So in the next 30 minutes or so, I want to teach you why most of the conventional wisdom regarding weight loss is absolutely flawed and how it's holding you back from achieving your dream body. And you can know how you can easily lose 20 pounds without ever using it or taking a ton of diet pills, and why it's not fat or calories that are making you put on absolutely so profitable to keep you overweight, and why companies added in excess amounts of sugar, and why it's such a toxic threat that is absolutely making the pound. So my promise to you is an action plan designed to get you real results. I want you to stick with me to the very end because I'm going to be showing you a lot of stuff, and I'm going to be sending you something free in the mail if you stick with me to the end. So would definitely like to see you all the way through this. So I'm just going to read this out here. Does any of this sound like you? Maybe you've tried your horrible time along with the program, and even when you did, you got no results. You're trying to eat clean, but for some reason 20 pounds just cling to your body. You lack the time and the energy to get to the gym and work out. You spend a ton of money trying to get the latest diet crazes, and you've barely lost any weight. You're totally exhausted and don't really have energy to think about any of it anymore. You're just tired of having to figure out all of the nutritional information, and you just works once and for all. So, none of these are the real problem. The real problem is that you still, which I totally understand. I believed in them for quite a few years myself. But after studying and doing some research, I learned that these 5 myths are really holding back the vast majority of people. So that's what this webinar is for. It is designed to bust through these 5 myths and to help you achieve the body of your dreams. A little bit about myself. I am a certified holistic health coach with an emphasis in plant-based nutrition. I work with women on their diet to lose 20 to 30 pounds, find a work-health balance, and gain more energy and productivity. But honestly, none of that stuff matters. The important thing is that I understand everything that you're going through. I was this way about 2 years ago myself. I would have to take naps in the middle of the day because I couldn't do it. I had to have energy pills. I was drinking energy drinks all the time. I could see the weight on my stomach, and I really didn't understand the way that food affects us. And I was just eating the typical diet. I was eating Pop-Tart, some fast food for lunch, and then a frozen dinner for dinner. And, I was not feeling great. So, reading books. I read all the health books about counting calories and all kinds of stuff like that. And I tried it out on myself, and I realized, that none of that stuff really worked. I didn't feel any better. Actually, I felt worse because it was time consuming. And so I just kept doing it, kept experimenting. And then I realized, the powerful effect that food has. And I absolutely fell in love with it and decided to become a coach. So that's where we are today. And let's just get to the material right now. So the first myth that I have is that doctors know nutrition. So contrary to popular belief, doctors don't know medicine, or doctors know medicine, but not food. That's what they are trained in, is medicine, not food. Most doctors receive less than 2 weeks of education regarding nutrition. They're there for years and years, and they're getting less than 2 weeks of formal education regarding their nutrition. The U.S. National Library of Medicine stated that in a study out of 160 medical schools, only 40 schools require the minimum 25 hours of nutrition learning recommended by the National Academy of Sciences. And most instructors, at least 88%, express the need for additional nutrition instruction at their institutions. Even these doctors are saying that they don't know enough about nutrition and that they're trying to get something, to learn about it in the schools. And so doctors specialize in being able to pinpoint the problem and respond with surgery or medicine. They know that if you have diabetes, they need to give you insulin. They know how to respond to a specific problem with a specific medication. They're not very good at the preventative care. They're very good, at prescribing something, but they don't really know how to prevent it with nutrition. They would want to, I'd imagine, but they just don't know how to do it. And if you ask most doctors what you should do for weight loss, they still believe in calories in versus calories out. And so, honestly, this is not the best information, and I will go into that in the next myth. But I would suggest listening to your doctor. Definitely understand their advice, but do your own research on it. Do what's right for your body. They don't always know everything that's right for you and your circumstances. Sometimes they're having a really busy day and they're just giving you the information that they know off the top of their head without doing a lot of research. You know yourself, you know your body. Look into it. And especially if your doctor is overweight himself, I would suggest taking his weight loss information very lightly. I went to the doctors before and they simply just printed something, off of the internet. They didn't even do their own research. They didn't have pamphlets. They just literally printed it off of a screen, from some website telling me to eat ice cream, and it was just absolutely horrible. So the second myth that I have is that calories are key. I would say this is probably the biggest lie that is out there. So most people firmly believe in calories in versus calories out, including the doctors, which basically means that, if you're going to eat a 500-calorie lunch, like a sandwich or something, that you have to go for a run and burn 600 calories in order to burn that off. You want to make sure that you're burning more than what you're putting in your body, which I understand the concept of it, but it is definitely, there's so much more to weight loss than, just trying to balance out those ratios. So what a lot of women do is they try to eat a very limited number of calories and they try to burn off, the rest of it. They try to make sure that they're burning more than they're eating. And so, most women are going for the lower calorie option rather than the healthier option, which is pretty much my whole stance on this. I'm going to be honest with you. I could care less about the calories. I care about the food that the calories are coming from. We need calories to live. They're energy. There's something we need, but it is about the individual calorie. It's about the nutritional value of a food, not the amount of calories that it has. And so there's a huge reason why so many people believe in this. It's because most companies want to trick us into believing calories are everything, because that makes it so much easier to sell you their products. They're full of sugar and preservatives, but guess what? They're low in calories. Most people would go for that box of the lower calorie food rather than something that is healthier. And I'm going to go on to that more, but it's really about the quality of the calorie, not the quantity. If you're trying to lose weight, you can definitely eat 4,000, 5,000 calories a day and still lose weight. It all depends on where those calories are coming from. So this right here is a really great example. On the left here, you can see an apple, which is 100 calories right there. And on the right hand side, we have a Ritz cracker mix, which is also 100 calories per serving. And so, this is just something that I'm talking about here. This is the ingredient list for an apple. Clearly, it's just an apple. It's something that grows in nature. It's clearly got a lot of stuff to it, vitamin C, fiber, all kinds of good stuff. It's built in, the perfect package that it's meant to come in. And when you look at the ingredient list for the Ritz crackers, you can clearly see, there's definitely a lot here. The number one thing that sticks out to me is the trans fats. Partially hydrogenated cottonseed is a trans fat. Most people have heard of that word, and we're scared of it. We don't like it. It's not good for your body. Yet they're still putting it in these crackers and stuff to make it low calorie and to give off the illusion that it's healthy. Lots of GMO soy. I cannot guarantee that they're GMO, but I'm definitely thinking so, since about 90% of soy in America is GMO to go into these foods. Soy lecithin made from soybeans, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of it in here, in several different places. And finally, we have milk. So milk is definitely not a weight loss food. So I describe it best as this. If you imagine a baby calf, which is what milk is for, cow's milk is meant for a calf, not for human beings, for a baby calf. This milk is designed to grow this baby into a full-grown cow. It is engineered by nature for growth. That's what it's meant to do. And so when you're eating milk, you're just naturally going to get bigger. That's what it's meant to do. So if you're trying to lose weight, definitely stay away from the milk. But, they try to make it a little bit better by adding in the B1, the vitamin B12, B2, all this stuff to make it seem a little bit better. But honestly, I would so rather go for the apple than for the Ritz crackers. And so I just want to reiterate, calories are not created equal. Our body responds to the type of calorie, and it's best to go with the whole food than just a low-calorie option. They got an expert panel together at WebMD, and they basically did a study, and they looked at it, and they said, from a metabolic perspective, our study suggests that all calories are not alike. Ludwig tells WebMD, the quality of the calories going in is going to affect the number of calories going out. Your absolute best option is just to stick with foods that don't have a nutritional label slapped on them. You get tripped up because of all these things, and you're like, oh, I can't tell. This one says it's got more fiber, whole grains, or this one's lower calorie. Go for something that's for nature. I'm going to say this at the end of every slide, but it's true. I want to get it in your head. The foods from nature are the best foods for you. So moving on to the third myth, which is that low fat works. I'm sure most people have heard of this. In 1977, most Americans' fate was sealed with the passing of the dietary guidelines. This is when they told America what we should be eating. And clearly, we were told that we should reduce our fat intake. They said that it would help us prevent heart attacks, to become skinny, to prevent all sorts of things. And, most people at the time were like, all right. And so we decided that fat was the number one enemy and that we had to get rid of it. And honestly, we have gotten so much fatter as a country. You can just look around and see, everybody is pretty much overweight at this point, and it just made us more obese and set up a system that puts us more at risk for disease. So Walter Willett of Harvard School of Public Health put it this way. When we began our studies back in the late 1970s, we expected that we would find a relationship between, say, fat intake and breast cancer, because that was almost an accepted relationship. But as the data started coming in over the years, we just did not find any higher risk of breast cancer among women who consume more fat in the diet. And the same was true for colon cancer and for heart attacks, and the risk of type 2 diabetes. In fact, the percentage of calories from fat in the diet has not been related to any important health outcome. So even, prestigious people are telling us that this was not backed by good science. The science was not there, and we just basically guessed, saying that, fat was the reason behind all of these diseases, and honestly, it's made us fat now. So you may be wondering, why did taking out the fat make us fat and sick? You know what? The answer is pretty simple. We simply replace that fat with sugar. Why would you want to replace the fat with sugar? Because low-fat items taste horrible. They taste like cardboard. No one wants to eat them. The food company wants to sell you products, so they're going to sell you something that you actually want to eat. So when they took out the fat, they introduced new products onto the marketplace that were loaded with tons of sugar. And now, instead of, the fat, they now have preservatives and trans fats, which is, something new that I mentioned before with the Ritz crackers. This is something that we've not seen on a scale before. Pretty much everything has sugar in it now. You look at your pasta sauce, it's got like 20 grams of sugar per serving. Even kids' juices, kids' foods are definitely full of sugar. And why is, sugar in so much everything besides of the fat? Because sugar is addictive. People get addicted to sugar. Our brain lights up on sugar the same way that it does when it's on cocaine. It just lights it up, and so you're going to have to keep buying it. It's just like nicotine. You're going to get addicted, and you're going to have to keep buying and buying and buying. And this is great for the companies because they can sell you all of their products. And they're trying to get us addicted as soon as we can. If you look at the soy infant formulas and stuff like that for, all infant formulas in general, they are full of sugar because like the cigarette companies found out in the 1960s, if you addict a customer, you have a customer for life. So, this is just a kind of an example of how much we are eating of, all of these things, especially sugar, but all kinds of things. So it's kind of showing you that the low fat is not the solution to this problem. We're eating on average 15 pounds of salt, 10 pounds of additives, 152 pounds of sugar. People are literally eating their weight in sugar, and 133 pounds of grains and wheat. If you look at this, there's, very, very limited room for the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts, the seeds, everything that you need to have a healthy diet. There's no more room. We've filled it up with all of these things, and people are still wondering why we are getting fat. So, the solution is not to replace a high-fat yogurt with a lower-fat option. It's not to just get rid of this product that is high in calories and replace it with a lower-calorie product. The product is still full of sugar and empty calories. That's not what we should be doing. We should be replacing these foods altogether with healthy food. If you're looking at, something sugary, you're still going to go for something like an apple or strawberries or pineapple or watermelon instead of, that Twinkie bar. And it's definitely a process because, like I said before, people are addicted. But if you really want to lose weight and you want to get yourself to that place, you're going to have to start eating these whole foods. And we do need fat in our diet. I'm not discounting fat at all. You should try higher quality fats such as hemp seeds, chia, pumpkin, nuts, coconut oil, avocados, cacao nibs. These are all great sources. You get your omega-3s, omega-6, protein in these as well. And coconut oil makes your hair shine. There's so many benefits to eating these better foods that they are definitely worth it. And so let me reiterate, you focus on whole foods rather than the low-fat foods or the low-calorie foods or anything like that, the preservatives, something that is promising you so much stuff, and just stay away from it. You can easily drop 20 pounds or more just by doing that. If you cut out the sugar, if you cut out the preservatives, if you just start returning back to nature, you're going to see so many results. You're going to definitely lose those 20 pounds. And so exercise is everything. So when most people want to lose weight, exercise is one of the first things that they can think of. They think that, I can eat this piece of cake as long as I'm running it off later. It's okay. I can deal with it. And so this is totally taking food out of the equation, still thinking that you can do whatever you want, but you're working a lot harder, not smarter. And, I see this all the time when I go to the gym. I see women, who are just killing themselves on the treadmill, and, they're just terribly disappointed when they realize that they aren't seeing the results that they desire. They want the body and they're working for it. I definitely appreciate and applaud the effort, but it's not going to get you the results that you want, at least not in the short term and in a healthy way with a healthy body that you really want. So the truth is, our body is made up of about 80% nutrition, 20% exercise. Nutrition is definitely the more important thing. So if you try to exercise while still eating crap, it's going to take you a lot longer to see the results that you want. You could definitely get those 20 pounds down just by changing your diet, but by just changing your workout routine, months and months and months of hard work, and you're not going to be able to stick with it. When you eat the proper foods, you're going to see something a lot quicker, and you're more than likely going to stick with it. So why is there so much confusion? As I mentioned, most of these myths are out there for a reason. And so the food industry wants you to believe that exercise is more important so that you keep buying their products. If you want to buy a chocolate cake, you're just going to buy the chocolate cake. And you think that, oh, it's okay, I'll go to the gym today. And so you keep perpetuating this cycle where you're still buying these bad products, but you still think that you're getting something out of it because you're like, oh, I'm going to the gym and I'm just going to burn it off. Definitely do not think that this is our fault. This has definitely been billions. I'm talking billions of dollars of marketing trying to get us to believe in this, the low calories, the low fat, exercise. And even our own government doesn't tell us the truth. Michelle Obama's campaign is called Let's Move. It focuses primarily on getting kids to play rather than eating the proper foods. The whole thing of it is trying to get kids, oh, get them outside, get them playing, get them off the video games, which is awesome. Definitely love it. But the important thing is that they're eating the proper foods, so that way when they come in from their basketball game, they don't just shove their face in a box of Twinkies or something. They need to be doing more, and it's really hard, when the food industry is lobbying, our presidents and our Congress people and all kinds of stuff, trying to get us to pick the unhealthier option because they're making money. And so the important part is that exercise is important. I'm not discounting it at all. I exercise pretty much every single day, but it's just not the most important thing. Nutrition is first, and then it is exercise. So you can definitely combine them to maximize your results, but it's not mandatory. But if you already are exercising and you love it, but you want to see better results, I would suggest hiking, sprinting, and weightlifting. These are all things that our ancestors did. They went for very long hikes, going to the next campsite. They sprinted away from predators towards their prey. They were doing stuff all day long. They were moving, and weightlifting. We lifted heavy stuff. And women, you definitely don't have to be afraid of the weightlifting. If you're afraid of getting bulky, this can definitely help you lose weight all over, build muscle, which burns, more calories when you're not even doing anything. And if you're afraid of the bodybuilder, look, it's not possible. Trust me. If you are just, doing it every other day, you're not going to get that bulky look. You're simply going to lose the weight. We don't have the hormones or the ability to bulk up quite the way that men do. And for the women who are professional bodybuilders, they're definitely going hard. They're taking supplements to help that move along. But, just by yourself, it's not going to happen. So, these in general can definitely help you melt the fat off and to sculpt your body in the shortest amount of time possible. So, try these out, do one of them each week. You can pick whichever one you like, or, just finding something, getting out in nature is really nice. But, if you don't want to exercise, it's totally fine. You can stick with the nutrition, or if it's hard for you to exercise right now, you don't have to do the hard running. You don't have to do the treadmills. It's not working smarter. It's working harder. So the very last myth that I have is called nutritionism. So I'm going to try my best to explain this. But when most doctors, food companies, scientists, they speak about nutrition, they mostly refer to the individual components within a food rather than the whole food itself. This concept is called nutritionism. It is the idea that the nutritional value of a food is the sum of all of its individual nutrients, vitamins, and other components. So, as we were talking before about the apple, imagine an apple. You know that it's more than just an apple. It's got the fiber, it's got the vitamin C, it's got, individual vitamins within it. The concept of nutritionism is if you built a scientifically engineered product with the fiber, with the vitamin C, and with the other vitamins that the apple had, and thinking that this product is just as good as the apple. It's basically taking away the whole food and instead replacing it with the sum of its parts. It's taking the individual vitamins and ingredients and stuff and throwing away the apple. And so, most scientists would just look at this apple or a box of crackers or something and simply see the individual components in the ingredients without thinking about the incredible impact of the processed food and the whole food. So the biggest issue with this is that scientists aren't as smart as nature is. There is so much more to this apple than just the fiber, vitamin C, the individual vitamins that make it up. We are just scratching the surface of nutrition. We don't understand the incredible power that these whole foods have. We can definitely try to replicate them, but we're still learning more every day. Even vitamins aren't perfect. We're still understanding, or our body's not absorbing everything that we are genetically engineering and making and putting into these things. I would much rather take the apple, which nature has properly designed for our body, rather than, something made in a lab that a scientist thinks is perfect for me, because scientists aren't perfect and they're still learning and they're still trying, and I would much rather trust Mother Nature. And so there's a huge difference between receiving vitamin C in the form of an apple and taking out that vitamin C from the apple and putting it in something else. However, this is exactly what we've been doing for years. So this is my example right here, is the Cookie Crisp. So clearly, cookies are not part of a healthy diet, they're not a good breakfast cereal, but they try to make it better for parents. They want parents to buy it and say okay to it by adding in whole grains and calcium, and they're promising, oh, you get the vitamin D, you get this, you get that, and trying to make it seem like a healthier option, when in reality, the food is still horrible. You're still getting horrible food, and they try to put in these individual ingredients to make it better for you. But in reality, your body's not really going to absorb it. It's not going to do much with it. Or you're just going to load up on like 5 different vitamins and get no other vitamins in your diet because you're eating this crap all day. So it's just, they're trying to make it seem to you like it's a good option, when in reality, it is not. I would much rather, go for something, again, made from nature, that's more suited to our bodies than something that a fancy marketer puts together in a little package with pretty writing on it and it tastes good. This is honestly, the point is to sell you products, not what's looking out for your health. And so, to be honest, I hate the sciencey part of nutrition. I don't really like paying attention to the fat and the macros and the micronutrients and all of that stuff. That's not what I like. I like talking about the whole foods. I like talking about these myths. And certainly, I know so many women who kind of get caught up in this, and they have to make sure that their measurements are right and they're getting in all kinds of stuff. But honestly, we made it thousands of years without any of this stuff, and we did pretty good. We made it to this point, and I don't really think that all these scientists know absolutely everything. They know a lot. Trust me, they know a lot. We've come so far. Just with scurvy is an example of getting in that vitamin C in those citrus fruits, which is awesome. But I don't like any of that stuff. I'm just gonna eat from nature. If your goal is to lose weight, I would definitely suggest getting in as much fruits, veggies, nuts and seeds, all kinds of stuff like that as possible, without worrying about your carb-fat ratio or any of that fancy stuff like that. There's no reason to make it so hard on yourself. I don't pay attention to any of that, and I'm perfect. And just as a little disclaimer here, I would definitely suggest that you get a blood test done to let you know if you're deficient in anything. Most people these days are. If you're eating what most Americans are eating, you're probably deficient in things. Check it out, get it done. It'll come back to you in a few weeks. You'll know what areas you're lacking in, and you can definitely catch up on that. But, don't make it the source of all of your worries. Just, try the best that you can. Eat a variety of foods, eat seasonal foods, and you're going to be okay. But, just double check, make sure that that's all good. So, just as a quick review, today I promised that you would learn why most of the conventional wisdom regarding weight loss is absolutely flawed. Most of it is because of fancy marketing, and they want to sell you products. And, some of the science behind it was flawed, and this is kind of where we are today. And, how you can easily lose 20 pounds without ever using a treadmill, counting calories, or taking a ton of diet pills. The answer? Clearly, eat whole foods from nature. And why it's not the fat or the calories that are making you put on weight. It is the sugar and the preservatives and the bad stuff that they put in our foods when they took out the fat. And why Sugar is such a toxic threat, hiding in most foods, and it is absolutely making the pounds add up. If you start paying attention to the foods that you're eating, the sugar that's in them, and you start replacing them with better options, you're going to be doing great. You're going to be way ahead of the curve. So I'm going to do a quick recap of the 5 myths. Doctors know nutrition, calories are key, low fat works, exercise is everything, and nutritionism. I would suggest staying away from all these myths and, taking some time to study, to learn, to hire someone who knows what they're talking about, and, just involving yourself in this world because, honestly, the saying, if you don't have your health, what do you have? So, I don't just do this webinar for no reason. I want you to take action, to make a choice right now. Do you really want to be stuck where you are right now, or do you want to move on to something better? And I want to help. I want to do my part. I'm a coach, and I've set aside some time in the next week to speak to you personally about how you can begin applying these principles into your life starting today. This phone call is absolutely free. I just want to talk to you. And so I do have a specific criteria that I'm looking for the people who I get on the phone with, though. I value my time, and I want to make sure that I'm talking to people who are serious. If you're looking to lose around 20 to 30 pounds the healthy way and make it sustainable, I definitely want to talk to you. And you must be absolutely committed to improving your health. This is not some magic bullet opportunity where I tell you this trick and you're going to lose 50 pounds overnight. This is not that. This is sustainable progress. And you must be willing to go outside of your comfort zone and to try new things. I definitely want to be with you to support you every step of the way, but this is all about trying new things yourself and learning to get along with it and to learn. So on this call, I'm going to get you clear on the exact improvements you need to make in order to get on the right track to lose at least 20 pounds pretty quickly within definitely 3 months. And you'll have total clarity about your goal, what it is that you want to achieve, and why you want to achieve it, why it's so important to you that you have to get it done, and how you can begin doing it. And, I'll just be honest, if we totally vibe together, I may invite you to become one of the new one-on-one clients I'll take on this month for my 3-month one-on-one package. So if this sounds like something that would interest you, I would definitely recommend that you book a discovery call with me. All you have to do is go to mirandathompsoncoaching.com/apply. It will pop up a calendar. You just pick your best time, and we'll jump on the phone together and we will make something happen. So I definitely appreciate everybody that made it out to this webinar today and those who are watching the replay. And I definitely hope to see you, sometime later. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye-bye.